Hey, I was wondering when the season goes an extra 6 weeks, if you could describe for you is it more mental, more physical, the balances of not having as much time to prepare for this season?
Luckily we're still preparing right now. We don't have a game on Sunday, and there's not a Monday night football game going on. So we're still preparing. I think we're doing that smartly. But it's a combination of both physical and mental. That's a sport. That's the game. That's the job. It's just knowing. It's a good problem to have. It's champagne problems. I think if you asked anyone last season, if like, hey, you want a shorter off season, where you kind of gotta, I guess, prioritize how you're doing it and change it up a little bit, and you're gonna win the Super Bowl, I think everyone's gonna take that hands down. So it's a good problem to have, but I think we got a bunch of professionals in this room and in this building where we're on board and we're doing things smart here and getting guys kind of onboarded and everything like that. So.
And with that room, without Big Wit this year, what comes to mind on how you make up some of that gap?
You can't replace Witt. It's tough. Obviously, he's a big personality. He's an awesome player. He's a Hall of Famer for sure. But I think that's the biggest thing is, you're not replacing Witt because you can't. It's impossible. So some guy tries to step up, whether it's, me, Brian, or Joe, or, and any of the kind of guys with a little bit of years under them. You put all of our combined playing experience, we still don't make it up to where Witt is. But I think it's just, it's the power of the team, power of the room. Guys, stepping up and taking another step towards their leadership. But everyone's going to do it in their own way. Like I said, Witt was just such a important part, and he was just him. And I'm not going to be him. Dave's not going to be him. Brian's not going to be him. Joe's not going to be him. And we just kind of go off that and you kind of build off of, as a unit. And I thought we had really good discussions today for just day 2 in the meeting room. And I think that's how we're going to get better.
Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, Kurt.
Nick.
Hey, Rob, just transitioning from the off season to where you guys are getting prepared now. What are a couple of things that you're looking for personally to kind of just work on and improve upon to make sure that you keep yourself better and right?
It's kind of the year by year progression. You want to kind of see what you had last season, see what the areas that you can improve on. I'm not going to get into too much personally. I don't want anyone to know kind of what I think my weaknesses are. So, I think everyone's did a good job and kind of looked inward and was really, really critical of kind of what they can do better, and you just go attack in the off season.
And for you in that O-line, how much does it help just to have Matthew Stafford in year 2 now, basically playing the whole season with him and kind of understanding him, you guys kind of vibing together, and for that going into year 2 and that transition?
Yeah, no, you kind of really forget that, last year was Matthew's first year with us, just because the way it just seems like he's been with us for, 16, 20 years. He's just that level of professionalism. But obviously, having him around, he's an absolute leader of this team, captain, hands down. And, I think we're only going to build on it year 2.
Jordan.
Hey, Rob, how are you?
Hey, Jordan, how you doing?
Good, thanks. Wondering, with Austin leaving in free agency, do you see Tremayne and Coleman sort of competing for that spot? And how would you kind of assess what's needed to fill that role and sort of where those guys have developed in the past year or so?
I think both those guys have done a great job. And just seeing them for the past 2 days, I think everyone's been coming in and working, but it's an open competition, as every spot in the offensive line is, every year on every team. You got to earn your spot every year. No one's on the team now. No one's made it. No one's got a starting spot down. But I'm looking forward to guys in the room pushing each other and competing against each other, because I know we got a lot of guys who want to contribute and want to be out there, and I'm just kind of looking forward to it.
And then if I could pivot to something maybe a little bit random quickly. Sure. When you were going through the draft process and the evaluation process several years ago, do you remember what kind of emotional intelligence or personality tests you kind of went through, or what kind of background the Rams in that iteration of what the Rams were, what they did, and kind of where the league was at that time?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That was a little random. It was, I mean, just kind of the normal stuff, the stuff you do at the combine. I'm sure somebody's during a meeting asking you kind of weird questions. There's some psychological aspect to that maybe I don't understand, but no, I can't really remember exactly too much of specifically what the Rams did. At that time, you're trying to, potentially learn 32, owners, head coaches, O-line coaches, trying to get after it. But, I can't really remember exactly is what I'm trying to say, Jordan.
Thanks, Rob. I appreciate it.
No worries.
Kevin?
Hi, Rob. Another draft related question. The Rams haven't pressed too many rookies into full-time starting roles in recent years, I guess, function of draft position, but also the overall strength of the roster. You came in and started right away. You play with other guys on the O-line who have understudied for a while. What are the relative advantages or disadvantages of learning one way or the other? Or does it depend on the guy individually who, what's best?
Yeah, no, it's a great question, Kevin. It's person by person and it's team related. Obviously when I got picked up with the, back when we were in St. Louis, we were kind of middle of the road. We definitely weren't coming off a Super Bowl victory. And so it was just a different spot, a different need for the team. I kind of what you were alluding to earlier, I think we've done a great job getting guys in and, having a presence like Whit in the room where you can really pick up and soak up, his knowledge, his experience, and he was so open with it, where guys really kind of understood like, okay, well, if I really want to get better, I've obviously got my coaches who are helping me out 100% of the time, but I've got this guy who's got X amount of years experience and everything like that he's just offering little nuggets of gold. And so it's just different. And it's, some guys can step in right away and play. Some guys need a couple years, whether it's, the system they came from or just need a couple years developing or, getting skills down, or they're a little raw, or they have the athleticism, or they need to learn the playbook. So it's just a multitude of things, but it's all person by person and team by team. But, I think one of the best things that we have here is that, we do have some established guys around, and every single one of us is looking to help anyone that steps into our room. You come into our room and you're out here working, and, and we see that, you're family to us.
Mm-hmm. Well, just quickly, I mean, for you, did it turn out to be the ideal way to come in and start right away, or would you have benefited from watching for a while?
I mean, we'll never know. It's kind of one of those things where it happened the way it happened, so you make the best of it. Whether it's ideal or not, it's just kind of the way it is. And so you make the best of the situation that you're either put into, whether you can understudy, whether you have to step in and play right away. So I guess I can't really give you a definitive answer either way. I mean, football is a great, example of life. It's, things happen, you just move forward with the best way you can and, try to put your best foot forward.
I guess that's the lesson. Thanks, Rob.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin.
Stu?
Hey, Rob, going back to Whit no longer being part of the offensive line room and retiring, you're now obviously the elder statesman of the group, if you will. What's that dynamic like for you, just in terms of, I don't know, shift in responsibility, anything like that? I know you said it's a group effort, leadership-wise, and all those things, but how are you kind of approaching that throughout the offseason and heading into the season?
Yeah, obviously we lost a big presence with Whit, and with me having the most experience in the offensive line room, I'm obviously hoping and expecting to, up my leadership levels. But, kind of what I was saying earlier, you can't replace Whit. I'm not trying to be Whit. I can't. What won't happen. He is who he is, and I am who I am. But, I think the dynamic kind of stays the same. I'd like to think I kind of built my reputation in the NFL, at least here with the Rams, as kind of like an an overachiever at times, well, pretty much the whole time. And I think that's a compliment. You know, not the most physically gifted, you know, not the fastest, strongest, smartest, whatever it is, but hanging around playing good ball. And that's, you know, that's something I pride myself on. I think that, and I think we got a lot of guys in this room kind of like that. And so, and one of the biggest other things is, you know, I think everyone likes each other. And so it's an easy way to talk to each other, to, you know, correct each other, to, you know, even when we disagree on things, it's just, you know, guys are trying to work and get through things together.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, dude.
All right, we're right with Maria, then Gary.
Hey, Rob, because there's been so much change over the off season, what do you sort of hope to gain this week being in the building?
Well, there's always change. That's a big thing about the NFL. When people talk about, you know, you didn't lose one or two players, or, you know, most of the roster is the same, but it's losing one or two players can be massive in terms of the overall feel of the locker room, feel of the team. So every year it's a different team. It's never stays the same. There might be a couple guys, you know, still left over, or a lot of guys left over, but it's never the same team. And so, I mean, I think the goal is clear. I think Sean got up and did an awesome job and on our team meeting right away, kind of getting everyone in the group and kind of running through what our goals are. And our goals are, I guess I don't want to get specifically into kind of what we're doing, but you know, basically it's being the best version of the 2022 Rams. We have nothing to do with past teams last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 30 years ago. You know, it doesn't matter. This is a whole new team. This is a whole new year. We're trying to be our best version of ourselves. We're obviously building on things that we've learned and stuff like that, but that's more of a personal thing.
Right.
But you know, we're trying to be who we are.
And how important is it, do you feel, to be in the building this week?
Obviously feel pretty important about it. I'm here.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, it's good to get around the guys, you know, get around the coaching staff and get back to work. And, you know, I think we have that's a biggest blessing we have with here at the Rams. It's, you know, we are a team. You know, people do like each other. People like hanging out, playing together, competing against each other. You know, it's a fun time. And, you know, when you're out there working and grinding, you know, that's who you want to do it with.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Gary.
Hey, Rob.
Hey,
Good to
Gary.
see you.
Yeah, good to see you too, man.
Hey, just referencing something you said, what do offensive linemen disagree about? I mean, if you guys are having disagreements, what are those about?
Usually it boils down to either ranch or blue cheese. That's pretty much the basis. It's, not disagreements, but guys might see it in certain different ways. Like a center may see something differently than a tackle. A guard may see it different than a tackle, or a guy on the left side, right side, doesn't matter. Or I guess it's not, sometimes it's disagreements, but most of the time it's more kind of working through an issue. One guy might have a suggestion this way and the other one might go a little bit different, and kind of is just collaborating together and kind of coming up with the best answer for our room and how guys play, how guys move. But yeah, you know, in terms of disagreements, those are very seldom. Now, if we're talking, you know, Brian's a big wrestler, so you know, you start talking wrestling with him, you know, he's going to have some massive disagreements on that. But you know, that's out of my realm. I stay out of that.
And then finally, you know, when you guys came out here in 2016, you were just coming off your rookie year, going into your second season. You're now here we are. You're going into your 8th season. I mean, when you came into the league, and I know you're, you know, what's in front of me, that's all I'm worried about. Almost 8 years in, I mean, you believe that, you know, you've been playing in the NFL this long?
I mean, I believe it. I feel it. No, I'm just kidding. You know, kind of the off season, you do kind of reflect on that, and you know, you got kind of some of your buddies from high school and college being like, you know, it's now almost double a college career. You know, which is when you're coming out of college, you're like, man, I don't know if I could do this again. You know, you got 4 years in, you're like, oh, wow, that was pretty quick. And then all of a sudden it's 8 years or, I mean, shoot, with 16, whatever it is, it is pretty incredible to think about it, but that's just the fun of this game. I love coming to work. I love working with these guys. I love working with the coaching staff. I'm gonna do it till I can't, or somebody says I can't. So